Evaluating the benefits of model-driven development. Model-driven development, MDD, promotes software models as the cornerstone of software development. For more than a decade now, researchers have been evaluating the benefits of MDD. We present an experiment that achieves fidelity to real-world settings, challenging some previous ideas that limit the benefits of MDD to academic exercise or to developers without experience. We compare MDD and code-centric development, CCT, in terms of correctness, efficiency, and satisfaction. Novice, as well as professional developers, significantly improved their results with MDD. For more than a decade, researchers have been evaluating the benefits of MDD. Some works conclude that MDD decreases development time relative to CCT. Other works suggest that gains might only be achieved in academic exercise. In Captains or Martinez assert that only developers without experience benefit from MDD. In contrast to previous works, we address the use of a domain framework as part of both MDD and CCT, since domain frameworks are fairly popular in both contexts. In the experiment, the subjects were requested to develop the code of a part of the Kromaya video game, a game boss. Kromaya is a video game about flying and shooting with a spaceship in a three-dimensional space. Bosses in the video game can be created with a signed document markup language and with C++, which allow us to make a comparison between MDD and CCT respectively. The subjects use the domain framework as part of both MDD and CCT as they are used in the real-world developments. According to the goal question metric template, our goal is to analyze software development methods, model-driven development, and code-centric development for the purpose of comparison with respect to correctness of the software developed, efficiency, and user satisfaction from the point of view of novice and professional developers in the context of developing software for a video game company. In this study, the independent variable is the software development method. It has two values, MDD and CCT, which are the methods used by subjects to solve the tasks. Given that our experiment evaluates the benefits of MDD, and the most reported benefits of MDD is decreased development time, we consider the dependent variables correctness and efficiency. Correctness was measured using a correction template, which was applied to the programming artifacts developed by the subjects. Correctness was calculated as the percentage of passing assert statements with respect to the total number of assert statements. To calculate efficiency, we measured the time employed by each subject to finish each task. Efficiency is the ratio of correctness to time spent in minutes to perform a task. We measure user satisfaction using a 5-point Likert scale questionnaire based on the Technology Acceptance Model, TAM, which is used for validating information system design methods. We decompose satisfaction into 3 dependent variables: perceived ease of use, the degree to which a person believes that learning and using a particular method would require less effort; perceived usefulness, the degree to which a person believes that using a particular method will increase performance; and intention to use, the degree to which a person intends to use a method. Each of these variables correspond to specific items in the TAM questionnaire. We average the score obtained for these items to obtain the value for each variable. In our experiment, we set to answer 3 research questions related to the variables above. Does the method used for developing software impact the correctness of code? Does the method used for developing software impact the efficiency of developers to develop software? Is the user satisfaction different when developers use different methods of software development? To answer our third research question, we formulate 3 hypotheses based on the variables perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, and intention to use. The corresponding null hypotheses are if the software development method does not have effect on each one of these variables. The hypotheses are formulated as 2 Taylor hypotheses since not all the empirical or theoretical studies support the same direction for the effect. The factor under investigation in this experiment is the software development method. We compare MTT and CCT. To improve experiment robustness, we choose a repeat measurement and a crossover design, using the largest possible sample size and avoiding the order effect. We use 2 different tasks, T1 and T2. All of the subjects use the 2 development methods, each one of which was used in a different task. The subjects had been randomly divided into 2 groups, G1 and G2. First, all of the subjects solved T1 with G1 using CCT and G2 using MDT. Afterwards, all of the subjects solved T2, G1 using MDT and G2 using CCT. The diagram summarizes the experimental procedure. At the beginning, the subjects receive information about the experiment and a video game software engineer explains them the problem context. After that, the subjects fill out a demographic questionnaire and they receive clear instructions on where to find the statements for each task or how to submit their work. An instructor checks that each subject has filled in all of the fields on the task sheet and on the satisfaction questionnaire. Finally, all the subjects participate in a focus group. The experiment was conducted on 2 different days at the Universidad San Jorge by the same 2 instructors and the same video game software engineer. A total of 44 subjects performed the experiment. There were 35 second-year undergraduate students from a technological program and 9 master students with professional experience. The undergraduate students were novice developers and the master students were professional developers in the experiments. For this crossover design, we have chosen the linear mixed model test. Linear mixed model distinguishes between fixed factors and random factors. In our study, the subjects are random factors, and the method used to develop software, MTT or CCT, is a fixed factor as the primary focus of our investigation. This corresponds with Statistical Model 1. Additionally, the subject's experience and the sequence method and experience are considered to be fixed factors to account for their potential effects in determining the main effect of method. The second statistical model used in the experiment corresponds with Statistical Model 2. The dependent variables for these statistical models, DV, are correctness, efficiency, perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, intention to use. The statistical model fit for each variable has been evaluated based on goodness of fit measures such as CAISE Information Criterion (IC) and smart Bayesian information criterion, BIC. The model with the smaller I or BIC is considered to be the better fitting model. Additionally, the variance explained in the dependent variable by the statistical model is evaluated in terms of R-squared. To quantify the difference between MDT and CCT, we have calculated the effect size using CAISE value. Values of CAISE between 0.2 and 0.3 indicate a small effect. Values around 0.5 indicate a medium effect, and values greater than 0.8 indicate a large effect. This value also allows us to measure the percentage of overlaps between the distributions of the variables for each method. The results of the Type 3 test of fixed effects for each one of the statistical models used in the data analysis are shown in this table. For all of the variables, method obtained p-values less than 0.05 regardless of the statistical model used for its calculation. Therefore, all the null hypotheses are rejected. The answers to the research questions are affirmative. The method used for developing software has a significant impact on the correctness of code, efficiency, and the satisfaction of developers. However, the fixed factors experience and method experience obtain p-values greater than 0.05, which implies that neither the developer's experience nor the combination of both fixed factors had a significant influence on the change in the correctness of code or the efficiency and satisfaction of the developers. The values of the statistic R-squared, I, and BIC for each one of the statistical models are listed for each dependent variable in this table. Different statistical models did not obtain values of fit with a strong difference. We can conclude that the fraction of total variance explained by both statistical models is similar. This suggests that the method factor explains much of the variance in the dependent variables. The factor related to experience incorporated in Model 2 with respect to Model 1 did not have a significant influence on the change in the correctness of code or the efficiency and satisfaction of developers. The effect size of a current value of 2.63 for correctness indicates that the magnitude of the difference is large. This means that correctness distributions for method only have 9.7% of their areas in common. There is also a large effect size with a current value of 2.33 for efficiency. The magnitude of the difference is also large. The distribution of efficiency for methods are different for 88% of their areas. For correctness and efficiency, the impact of the method used for development is very large. The difference in perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, and intention to use are not as great as the ones for correctness or efficiency. The current values are 0.78, 0.69, and 0.45 respectively. The magnitude of the difference in user satisfaction between methods of development decreases to medium. To describe the threats of validity of our work, we use the classification of Walling et al. With respect conclusion validity, the low statistical power was minimized, taking confidence intervals of 95%. To minimize the phishing and the error rate threat, the tags, and the corrections, were designed by a video game software engineer and they were corrected by the same person. The reliability of measures threat was mitigated because the measurements were obtained from the digital artifacts generated by the subjects when they performed the task. The reliability of three-man implementation threat was alleviated because the experiment procedure was followed in all of the three-man implementations, and the tasks were designed with similar difficulty. The experiment was affected by the random heterogeneity of subject threat. Respect internal validity to mitigate the interactions with selection threat. The three-man was applied randomly. Compensatory rivalry affect the experiment because the subjects may have been motivated to perform the tasks with a higher level of quality by using the three-man that was more familiar to them. Respect construct validity to mitigate evaluation apprehension. At the beginning of the experiment, the instructor explained to the subjects that the experiment was not a test about their abilities. Monomethod bias occurs due to the use of a single type of measure. To mitigate this threat, an instructor checked that the subjects performed the task, and we mechanized these measurements as much as possible. To mitigate hypothesis guessing threat, we did not explain the research questions or the experiment design to the subjects. To mitigate author bias, the tags were balanced and they were extracted from a commercial video game. The experiment was affected by monoperation bias threat since we work with a single three-man. Respect external validity, the experiment was affected by interaction of selection and three-man threat and domain threat. We think that the generalization of these findings should be undertaken with caution. Other experiments in different domains and with different subjects' roles should be performed to validate our findings. In this work, we present an experiment that compares MTT and CCT in terms of correctness, efficiency, and satisfaction. A higher fidelity to real-world software development is achieved by means of the use of domain frameworks as they are used in real-world development. Our results challenge previous ideas that limit the benefits of MTT to academic exercise and to developers without experience. The results also suggest a new research direction that should include the social aspect of software development in order to better understand the benefits of MTT.